What is up, Ravens flock? Huge shout out for your support for the 410 Sports Talk. James and Glenn are the best in the business. They're killing it right now. They love talking Raven talk. Make sure you go subscribe to their channel. Let's go Ravens. Big trust.
Welcome in everybody to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I'm Glenn Martin here with my co-host, as always, James Haskell. And in this episode, we're going to announce the newest Raven to the newest player to the Baltimore Ravens. But before we get into it, give us a subscribe, give us a like, and we'll keep you up to date on all your Ravens news. Jimbo, who is the newest Raven?
Yeah, that is right. In the 5th round, pick 160, the Baltimore Ravens select defensive back Shaun Wade, Ohio State. 6'1", 191 pounds. This kid, we'll get into it here, but really versatile, has played inside and outside, looks to be more of an inside guy, and we'll get into that. Look, from a blue blood program, has had some great years in college, a little bit ups and downs, but has really flashed as far as his potential goes. Before we talk about like his stats and projections and things, one of the things I really liked is post-draft, he talked about, he had an interview and he talked about being willing to play anywhere. And this is a theme I've noticed. Funny that this is a theme, but a lot of our rookies coming in, Ben Cleveland talked about, he said he feels comfortable playing any position on the line because of COVID. They weren't sure who was going to go down, so they needed to learn it all, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this guy said he's ready and willing. He said in an interview, it's just a blessing to be drafted, be part of the 1%ers. They need me to play inside, I'll play inside. They need me to play outside, I'll play outside. But I just want to be healthy because when I'm healthy, the Ravens are going to get the best Shaun Wade. So I'm excited about this kid. I know that he's excited to reunite with J.K. Dobbins and Victor Kane. Victor Kane? Did I do it again? Did I make him one person?
Ben Victor, yeah. Ben Victor, Deion
My
Kane.
bad. Yeah, my bad. Benjamin Victor. So really excited. Glenn, what's your take on this kid and his game and how you see him fitting?
Well, I think the fact that they got this guy in the 5th round is an absolute steal. This was a 5-star recruit, an overall top 25 recruit when he came out of high school, and really burst on the scene as a freshman. He was tasked with playing some slot corner, made a ton of plays. I mean, I think he had 3 interceptions, 31 tackles, and 7 pass breakups in 14 games played. And at nickel, he was 3rd team all-conference honors in 2019. He had 26 tackles with 2 sacks, a pick, and 8 pass breakups in 19. And a lot of people say if he came out after 19, he would have been a first-round pick. He decided to go back to school. Obviously, the issues with COVID certainly played a role in that 2020 season, shortening their schedule at Ohio State. And I think it impacted him. He decided he had a position change. He ended up going from primarily a slot corner, and he moved to the outside because, of course, Jeff Okudah, who ended up going top 5 to the Lions.
3rd.
Yeah, 3rd overall. So there was a crowded room there. So they needed him to go to the outside. And it's interesting because a lot of people say he didn't have, as much success. And if you look at like PFF, his grade was a little lower. But I'm looking at on NFL.com and he wasn't just okay at last year. He was an All-American, 1st team All-American according to the Associated Press, and he was the Big Ten Defensive Back of the Year in 2020. Recording 35 tackles, 2 interceptions, one of which he returned for a touchdown, and 4 PBUs in 8 games, in just 8 games. So, and that's 7 starts. So, he's 6'1", he's 196. He's super competitive. A lot of people say he could be a safety. He could transition into that role if you want to fully, take advantage of his athleticism. But to me, I'm excited about him being in the nickel. I mean, we talk about a lot on this show about, we love Tavon, but he's likely going to get hurt this year. And I like the fact that, typically in the nickel, you have a smaller, shifty guy, a guy that has good short area quickness. Well, this guy's got length, he's got athleticism, and he's tall. And he can play the nickel. So it's not like you're putting a 5'8", 5'9" guy, and you're talking a 6'1" corner with true length. And it's exciting because now when you go to that dime package, you can put him in there with the other 2 safeties currently on the roster, Deshaun Elliott and Chuck Clark. Man, I mean, I think we might see CoCap. What's his name?
Anthony
Levine take a little bit of a step back in his role, and maybe we might see Shaun Wade kind of start filling that role in the dime package, a guy that can come in and cover multiple positions, and probably even get played a little bit of outside line, or not outside, weak side linebacker, and really just be tasked with covering. You know, like Levine comes in there on those sub packages. So, man, I'm excited. The fact that they got him this late, I mean, I think this was a steal.
Yeah, I think, I agree with your points there. To add to that, one of the things I think is important, and we've talked about this before, is that every time Tavon got hurt, Marlon there was a position shift, right? Like everyone would shift left, right? Like everyone would just move to make up for the difference. And so this does two things, assuming that he pans out. One, he's comfortable in the slot. Yep. Marlon is comfortable outside. Marlon can do both because he's a special player. But we want Marlon in where he feels comfortable and where he brings us the most value. And we want this kid the same. So it provides value, in two separate ways, because if we can trust him in the slot and leave Marlon on the outside, even if something happens to Tavon, we still got Shaun Wade, and Shaun Wade will probably supplant Tavon before too long. This is just my assumption. But the other thing too is that as Jimmy moves on, whether he keeps signing 1-year deals for the next few years or whatever the case may be, I feel like as long as he wants to be a Raven, and if his talent doesn't drop off too much, he's going to be able to be a Raven. But it does prepare for the eventual departure, retirement, whatever, of a Jimmy Smith to add depth and quality depth to this room. And even, look, I'm not advocating that he go to the outside, but even if, what if we come off a Marcus Peters, or who's got an incredible deal at this point, but, what if we come off of Marcus Peters in 2 years or something like that? There's just a lot of value in what this kid can do in allowing our guys to play their best positions, adding some talent and availability at the slot position, and some versatility like you're talking about. A lot of high end, or he's got a lot of potential. He's got a high ceiling to his game. Yep. And if he does nothing but be an above average slot corner in the NFL, a healthy one, we've already upgraded.
Yeah,
right?
Because when Tavon Young has missed 47 games in the last 4 years.
It's insane. There's how many games are in 4 years? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, I mean, that shows you he missed almost all of them. I mean, it's insane. When he gets injured, it's the long ones, it's the season enders. And look, this guy's coming in the league with a chip on his shoulder. He thought he was a first-round pick last year. I'm sure some people told him and were telling him his projection was first-round pick. He goes in the 5th. So he said it. He said, I know I have first-round talent. And he said, it's just about putting it on the field, staying healthy and getting on the field. So I'm excited to see him out there, excited to see everybody be able to stay in their role if there is an injury. And even if not, I mean, say you go to 4 corners and you got Humphrey on the outside on one side, you got Peters on the other, and then you got Tavon Young and Wade on the inside spots, and then you can let Jimmy Smith play over the tight end. You can let Jimmy Smith play a little safety, which we saw some of it last year. It just gives Wink Martindale more options, more variety, and man, this is going to be an exciting defense because we thought that they would go heavy. Well, I guess not heavy. We thought that they had a lot of areas of need on the offensive side of the ball, and really just on defense. It's really just it's interesting to see them go for 2 guys in the secondary. Some people say, man, it's kind of an embarrassment of riches adding corners to this room, but man, that is a competitive room, and I think there's going to be some good players that end up having to get cut because there's just not enough roster spots.
Yeah, I was going to say in our last video we talked about the wide receivers being put on notice. Some of these corners are being put on notice, not our top end corners, but an Anthony Averett, Iman Marshall, amongst other guys. Those guys are being put on notice that look, they're going to have to compete. There's no gimmies here, when you're playing for Baltimore. So, man, it's going to be interesting. I like this pick. I think it's funny because I think every pick so far, not every pick, we haven't graded every pick as of yet.
No.
But if I think if I had to put a grade on this one, I got to give it an A. I've given a lot of picks A's, not all of them, but I've given a lot of A's so far. And to me, this is an A.
Yeah, because of the position. I mean, it's a 5th round pick. I mean, what do you expect normally to get out of a 5th round pick? And to get a guy with this type of ceiling, if he can stay healthy, he can continue to develop his craft, and really, I think the Ravens will do a good job in keeping him in a role in which he'll succeed. Not, it looks like at Ohio State, they kind of asked him to do something maybe he's not suited for.
Exactly.
Well, that's not going to be the case in Baltimore. So they're going to make sure they put him in positions to succeed. So yeah, I got to give it an A as well, Jimbo. But let us know what you guys think. Are you excited about Shaun Wade? Would you have liked to see them go elsewhere? I know a lot of people were, seeing some late round tackles and stuff like that. But let us know what you guys think. Leave your comment below, and we'll talk soon.
See.